Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever edition of the MOR Esports podcast. This is something that we've been wanting to get going for a while. I didn't really want to announce it until we decided we were doing it. And then about 20 minutes before the race tonight, me and Mikey thought, you know what? Why not? Let's just do it right now. So we are here for the podcast to basically break down what we'll do on these podcasts. We won't go through this every week, but as it's the first episode, we'll give you guys a little bit of an insight into what we're doing. So once a week, probably on a Sunday, we'll just break down everything in the world of MOR, motorsports, Formula One, whatever is going on in the world. We'll just sit, have a chat for an hour, hour and a half, and see what's going on. We'll go through championships, biggest results, best drives, controversial moments from MOR Esports. And, you know, knowing MOR, there won't be any controversy in that whatsoever. We'll also look ahead to the next week of racing action. Obviously, in this episode, we've already just had the Monday 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. division. We can go over those race results and then we can look forward to the week ahead. We'll also talk about championship battles, drivers to watch, all that good stuff. But it isn't only going to be about our league. We will also talk about other forms of motorsport, whether that's Formula One, maybe Formula E this week with the controversial way that championship finale went down. Transfer talking points, controversial moments. Maybe we'll debate things from the past. I know Mikey was a big fan of Abu Dhabi 2021. Maybe we'll get on the topic of that at some point. And we want debates as well. You know, the GOAT debate obviously being the main one. Underrated and underhated drivers, maybe. Best driver on the grid at the moment. Tracks we'd like to add to the calendar. Things that we would personally change about Formula One. So it's basically just a big amalgamation of everything MOR, everything motorsports, and then whatever me and Mikey want to ramble on about. There'll probably be a lot of funny moments. We'll probably stutter a lot. I'll probably punch my monitor thinking I'm punching Mikey at some point. It will be great. So
that's the aim.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I am joined by the one, the only, the great F1 Mikey boy, the league owner of MOR Esports. And we've got Blake in here because nobody else could turn up. So thanks, Blake, for joining us tonight.
Brilliant stuff, mate. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad. So we should get on then, should we? Mikey, do you have anything to say before we really get into the talking points?
No, just it was good to see MOR kick off today. Obviously, the 6 p.m. the 8 division starting, which was the first proper championship races we've had. Pretty successful, and I'm looking forward to see how they develop because there's some drivers in there that obviously aren't the quickest, but they've definitely improved even with the socials we're doing. So I think it's going to be a good week and a good season, hopefully. And just thank you to everyone for joining and being a part of it because I think it's going to be something pretty special.
Most certainly, season 5 definitely the biggest that we have had so far, and probably the most chaotic as well. I would say behind the scenes, it's been long. I know, especially for you, Mikey, trying to get everything in order and set everything up. I don't know if you maybe want to give a bit of background into what has gone into making season 5 actually get running.
I mean, a bit of everything, to be honest. It's not just me. There's a lot of people involved. But ultimately, it's the biggest thing is people's patience. You know, it's not been easy. We've gone from running 3 races a week. We obviously went a bit viral, and we had a big influx of drivers coming in. So we just straight away got onto the social races. We used that as a bit of a wear and tear as in to see who's good, who's not, and who isn't suitable for league racing. As you always know, that people treat some races as open lobbies, and they do end up yeeting you into walls, which has happened to me many times and many other people. But yeah, so we've been doing 48 social races a week, which is mega. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
So there's work going into it from everyone, but it's hard work for everyone, and a lot of people take their own time. They don't get paid for it. They do it for everyone's benefit. But yeah, season 5, we're running 16 divisions, I think, across the 7 days. We're also running 3 social races a day at the moment. Every grid is full. We need to announce the Saturday 4 p.m. and the Sunday divisions, which we'll do tomorrow. And then we'll be full steam ahead. Obviously, now looking at doing a podcast. We've obviously got the app in the background that's running, which we've had subscriptions of, I think, nearly 50% now of the value of the app, which is great, earning a bit of revenue into it, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone on track and fighting for those championship battles.
Yeah, it's a lot more interesting. You know, we've had the big boom in virality, let's say, and then we've, you know, opened up all the social races, but it the racing and sort of everyone's mentality gets a lot different when you get into a championship when every point could matter. You know, the manual retirements that we've had an issue with have been going down because in MOR, as some people may not know, every single position counts as a point. So that will be
It does,
interesting
yeah.
to see how the point system works out with drivers. And I think it just makes it mean a lot more. You know, you see people like, let's say, Lunar Eclipse today in the 8 p.m. race, didn't have a great race, had a lot of damage, got into a few incidents, but still stuck it out. If you're in a championship fight, those 2 or 3 points could ultimately win you a title.
It will, and we saw that in the Tuesday division, as Ollie's just kindly mentioned in the Twitch chat. Me and Blake lost the constructors championship by 1 point, and that 1 point came from someone on the last lap retiring because they couldn't be asked, and it gifted someone a position which won them the championship, and that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't help that I had a penalty in the race, and if I didn't have that, I still would have finished higher. But ultimately, you you've got to finish every race because every point matters. We've always, I think, every season so far we've had a title up for grabs in the last race, which is really, it's a statement in my opinion, and it's really really cool to be able to say we've got that because it just means that there's no one ever running away with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been league racer now since 2018, I think it is, and it's very rare that you will find a championship that goes down to the final day, let alone in MOR or as it was called WRC. There were multiple championships that were going down to the final race, and it really puts pressure on the drivers rather than having a bit of a pillow behind them if, you know, they DNF from a race or whatever. Every single race you have got to turn up and you have got to be to the best of your abilities, even if it's not a track that you particularly enjoy. Because let's say, I don't know, you don't enjoy Imola and Imola's round 2, you might think, oh, it's a bit early on the calendar, it'll be all right if I finish a bit down the order. You might look back at the final race of the season and gone, I really should have won it by now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes both ways. We had the Tuesday champion, Ferrari for life. He won the whole title without winning a single race.
Yeah.
And just being consistent, showing up, not giving up is probably the key to getting anywhere near the front in the standings. You could finish 15th every race, but as long as you show up, you build those points up, and it could be the difference between a constructor's title and not. So every point is key, and that's also why we introduced the point system the way we have, is to keep everyone interested, to limit the retirements, because it's not fun for other people to have to stop racing every 3 laps because someone's yeeted it into a wall
Yeah.
because they can't be asked. So yeah, the retirements. Everyone knows how I feel about retirements, even though I did it today. But everyone knows how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's a topic that has been discussed many a time in
Yeah.
MOR, but I think it realistically there's no positive to retiring on track. You know, it can trigger safety cars and virtual safety cars that can ruin other people's races. It can, like you say, bring people into points that maybe shouldn't have had the amount of points they had. It can ruin championship battles. But that does seem to have been combated very well. Obviously, we changed the social races as well to be shorter distance, just sort of as a preparation towards season 5. But speaking of season 5, obviously we've only had 2 races so far, those being the Monday 6 p.m. and the Monday 8 p.m. Mikey, I know you were watching the 6 p.m., you were racing in the 8 p.m. I hate to do this to you, but realistically I don't. You've got to pick one. What was the better opening round of the season?
For me, it was the 8 p.m. Simply because you had 22 drivers going at it the whole race, and not one of them gave up. And for me, that's huge because it just goes and shows, the mentality of that grid there. I know there was a couple of reserves, including myself, but nobody gave up.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see. And 2 of the reserves actually finished first and second. So there's a lot in that division. Nova finished third. He was the first full-time driver, and I think there's a lot of potential in that division. But both races were equally just as good. But obviously, with the no retirements, there was a couple of yellow flags. There was no safety cars, no virtual safety cars. It was a completely uninterrupted race, and the fight was obviously, first and second were split by a tenth and a half at the end of the lap, and third and fourth, I think, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth was separated by under a second at the end of the race as well. So definitely for me, would say the 8 p.m. But both races were equally as good as each other.
Yeah, I mean, the 8 p.m., obviously, I was commentating that race, and it's just you don't know where to look because you've got a battle for the lead that looks
Yeah.
like it's going to continue on for 10 laps. You've got a battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth that looks like it's going to continue on for another 10 laps. You want to look at the drivers at the back because they're also having a battle that looks like it's going to continue till the end of the race. It's like, where do we keep our eyes? It's almost like we need multiple streamers just to capture everything that's going on because it was constant battling up and down the grid, whether it was the leaders, the podium finishers, the minor point scorers, wherever it was, there was some sort of fight going on.
Yeah, and it was, and then we do see a lot of comments about people saying, "Oh, why don't we ever see highlights of 10th and 12th fighting?" But ultimately, the race win is the most important part, and if
Yeah.
there's people going into a battle there, that's what we're going to watch. And again, the social media side of things is very difficult to keep on top of with how many races there are. There's only two of us that do it. So watching every race and clipping it, if people were to send us overtakes or send us battles, you would then get a lot more of that footage. So this is me kind of asking for people to send more videos, send more race highlights. Then we can do that, and there will be more coverage for everyone because there is some great battles all over the track. It's just not easy to see it with just one set of eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Executioner's Aim, for example. He messaged me after the race and went, "Did you catch my quintuple overtake?" And I thought, well, I must have, remembered that if I'd have seen it. So I said, no,
Yeah.
I don't really know. And he sends me the clip of it. And it's an absolutely incredible overtake.
Yeah.
But because of the lead fight, we just haven't seen it. But then with him sending that clip, it can get posted on social media. And
Absolutely.
everyone can see that moment if they did miss it on the stream because I didn't catch it myself. And that is, again, you're asking, I will ask as well, because it is a big thing, for social media. That's ultimately what has got us in this point in the first place, where we're doing all these races and having all this really good action. The more social media posts we can put out, the better. It gives more people a chance to be highlighted. Realistically, there is no downside. So if you do get a really cool overtake or you have a crash where you go 50 feet in the air or anything like that, then send it to us. We'll get it on the TikTok and you can have your little bit of limelight.
Yeah, and we're everyone that takes part in this league is the reason that the league carries on. So everyone deserves to have that light on them as well. Especially when we're getting 200 to 300 people watching the races. Not at the moment because our TikTok is suspended. Don't know why. But that's just TikTok being TikTok.
Yep.
But everyone deserves that credit and that appreciation of being able to watch them race. And I do understand people's frustrations, but there's a limited amount of resource where we can go and find those clips. So yeah, if people could definitely send through their clips, that would be the best. What about you, Blake? What was your highlight? You raced in both, didn't you?
Yeah, I was about in both of them. Neither of which really went my way, so I could have just probably not bothered doing any of them, and it wouldn't have changed the race. But no, it was good fun. I think there was a lot of close battling in the 8 p.m., particularly at the start. I think there was like a 5-car battle, which again, like we were just talking about, I don't know if JP caught much of it on the stream because I was too busy driving. But there was a lot of clean racing. It all looked good. It all looked good. It's in a very good place, especially for a first round of a division to be in the state that it was. So yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to, particularly on the Mondays, and there's also a lot to look forward to tomorrow with obviously the Tuesday 8 p.m. starting up again, which is obviously that's our marquee or like the baby of the league as you used to say. So that's another thing to look forward to tomorrow.
Yes, it is. I'll let you carry on, JP. Sorry, mate.
No, I mean, the 8 p.m. division, I was just going to go on to that. I mean, it has always been the baby of the league. I mean, Tuesday 8 p.m., that was the first division that was ever created, I believe. And since the birth of what was WRC, now is MOR, that's always been sort of the crown jewel. I think there are certain divisions that could maybe try and take that crown, particularly the Sunday esports division. But for now, and especially looking at the grid and the calendar for the Tuesday 8 p.m. race, I really can't see that crown being taken, to be completely honest.
Never say never. You know, there could be some dark horses out there. Tomorrow's 8 p.m. is looking by far one of the stacks, but we've had some social races over the last few weeks that have been incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had the £50 reward race that was really good. That was really, really fun. We had a lot of people come in for that. It wasn't a full grid, but you know, the racing was excellent.
Yeah.
And then we've also, you know, we've got the Thursday realistic, which the 6 p.m. is going to be a bit touch and go because it is a bit of a mixed bag of drivers. We're not too sure on their pace completely. And then the 8 p.m. Thursday, I think, is going to be another very good division. I think that could potentially have a lot more closer racing than the Tuesday. And then, yeah, the Sunday esports. But the one I'm really looking forward to is the Saturday teams one, because that's where the games come out. And, you know, the very first time we did that was really, really good. It was really successful. We didn't quite get the drivers we wanted, you know, in season 2. So we gave it a season off. But you know, we've got a lot of drivers. We've got over 200 people registered on the app, which is great. You know, really looking forward to the teams division. I think that's going to be mega.
Yeah, I think the teams division as well it's different. So it's a different kind of racing. Whereas, you know, a normal league, you have one teammate, and typically you don't really have team orders. It's more just, well, whoever's quicker goes ahead sort of thing. You do get the odd really nice person that will hold someone up for you or something.
Yeah.
But the Saturday teams division is really more focused on the constructors, which is what I personally like about it. It is literally called the teams division. So it shines more of a light on the constructors championship, where that is normally pushed to the side almost because of the drivers championship. Obviously, there's still a drivers champion in the Saturday teams division, but the constructors really kind of takes the crown, if that makes sense. And I think that adds a different dynamic to how people race, because you do want to help your team. And obviously you have the different things like the wild cards and the double point driver and things like that also can shake up the grid and shake up how the racing works. Because, you know, let's say me and you are on a team, Mikey, and you're the double point scorer. I'm a position ahead of you. I'm going to want you to finish ahead of me, which would never normally happen in a real race. But in this teams division, I'm going to want you to take that position from me because you are scoring double points for us. So the strategy and the tactics and sort of everything that you would normally prepare for in a standard league race completely goes out the window.
Yeah, and you've also, you know, you've got some very, very quick drivers in there. But you've also got a few drivers that maybe aren't as quick as that, and you'll see a lot of teamwork, but you'll also maybe see some coaching, which is, you know, you could maybe not get elsewhere, which you'll get people offering support to their teammates, trying to give them setups, trying to make them better to help with the team. So I think it's a really, really, really nice dynamic, and I think it's a great idea, and I hope that it's as successful as it was before. Just want to say, I see a lot of people in the Twitch chat asking for shout outs. Whoever gifts a sub in the chat can have a shout out.
Oh,
there you go. So if you gift a sub, you get a shout out. And then we'll look at doing for the next podcast, which we haven't decided when we'll do. We'll look at being able to pin names on the screen.
Yeah.
As a thanks to those gifting subs. So yeah. Anyway, back to you, JP. Sorry, I was just.
Oh no, a little incentive to give the people what they want. I like it. I'm a fan. I do also think there is some sort of Twitch drops thing going on with the MOR Twitch channel, if I'm not mistaken, where if you gift a sub, something happens or something like that. It always pops up in the chat when I go in it. If I quickly load up the stream.
If someone wants to gift a sub so we can see it,
yeah,
cool.
you get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions while we're live. So if anyone wants to test that, then feel free. I'm pretty sure it's if you gift a sub or sub to us until before the 27th of August, you get 2 months of Audible Premium. I can't say I know what that is, but I mean, who doesn't like free stuff?
I'm just about to. There you go. I've earned a drop. What's that?
It must be your Audible Premium, mate. Audible, if you want to sponsor us, feel free. Our number will be somewhere.
So I've won 2 months of Audible. I've earned Princess Donut Pink sticker,
Oh,
a Donut Brown sticker, and some enchanted Big Boy boxers, which is great.
oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so there you go. There was 9 people that were eligible for a sub there, so they've all got it. If we could maybe try and just keep the subs coming in, that would be pretty cool. And again, you will get a shout out.
Yeah, there you go. A nice little incentive. Blake, are you subscribed to the Twitch channel?
I am. I wish that I was subscribed during this window. I think Audible's like audiobooks, which I couldn't
Ah.
really give much care about. Um, but yeah, it's a good incentive. It probably helps us out as well. But yeah, I think obviously it's nice to have people subbing. Speaking of which, I think MCL has just popped in the chat, so he'll be getting his
Yeah,
little
I was about to say,
shout.
I think MCL deserves a bit of a shout out for gifting a sub and wanting something I won't repeat. And
I was
Scooters
just seeing what he
TV
said.
jumped in. They've just jumped in with a tier 1 sub. Thank you, Scooters. But yeah, no, a big shout out to MCL today. You know, racing at the front, giving the young ones a go, considering he's, you know, touching 60. It's pretty cool. Sorry, Mike, but Andy told me to do that. I don't mean it. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next point. If we could keep the hype train going, though, that'd be pretty cool. Get some new people in here. That'd be fun.
Most certainly. Well, I would say for our next point then, let's switch it up from the MOR chat. Mikey, obviously, we're all big fans of Formula One. It's why we interact with a Formula One league and whatnot. I can see you've got your lovely Aston Martin t-shirt on.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on Lance Stroll?
I won't repeat what I said off air. You've caught me out here. Lance Stroll for me is a very lucky man. You know, I don't hold it against him. You know, he's in Formula One because of money, and there are a lot of people that are in, or have been in Formula One because of money. And I think there are a lot of drivers that probably deserves a go. But if they're paying, you know, for the sport, then so be it. He's not the worst driver in the world. I think Logan Sargent beats him for that. I wasn't a fan of Sargent and Latifi as well. You know, Abu Dhabi 21. You know, brings back.
Do we want to start that?
No, we'll save that for another episode. I think maybe because we will be here for a few days.
Most certainly.
But I would say, and Mike in there with Mazepin as well. He was another one that was pretty poor. But no, Aston Martin, I really like the team, and I hope that they do well for Fernando's sake more than anything. But they brought some upgrades in. I think was it before Belgium or Hungary, and they seemed to they took them forward quite a bit. But I'm just a bit concerned that they were probably too far back to make a difference this year. But it's still a step in the right direction. But I love the t-shirt. I think the t-shirt's great.
Well, speaking of Fernando, someone said you look like Fernando in the Twitch
I saw
chat.
that and ignored it.
Isn't
Because
it?
that's offensive to Fernando.
Oh, okay. I can kind of. I think it's the beard, to be completely honest.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's the beard, but I'm sure Fernando Alonso, if we send him that clip, he'll be very happy and might want to work with us in the future. So we'll definitely.
You know, yeah, we're open to working with Fernando and a few other drivers if that's an option. Then
I don't think Lance Stroll will want to collaborate with us anymore. We've written that one off.
I think that bridge is burnt now, unfortunately.
Just a little bit. Blake, I don't think I've ever actually asked you, and I've known you quite a while now. Who is your favourite Formula One driver?
This is like gonna be the most boring answer in human history, but I've been watching F1 since I was like literally like 5 years old. I'm 17 now, so it's been ages. Hamilton's always been my guy, but I just want to touch on what you said about Stroll. I don't think he's as bad as he gets made out to be. I think if you look at kind of his earlier career, obviously even when he was in Racing Point, like in that kind of era of the old Force India, I think you look at that and I think it's a completely different driver to who we see today. I think it's more of like a loss of passion and confidence more than it is he doesn't have the talent to be there. So I think in his earlier days, like he was getting podiums, he got that pole position in Turkey, of course. But I think obviously that his delta to his teammates has got bigger over time. I don't think that's a reflection on him as a talent. I think it's a reflection on kind of his public perception, and he's kind of lost confidence, I think. Also, that Aston Martin, I genuinely don't think you could put anybody in it and they would do very well. I think obviously after this summer break, they might be a bit better. But I think if we need to get Stroll on this podcast, I'm the man to be bargaining with him because I actually don't mind the guy. So I think taking out all the kind of off the track stuff, there seems to be like a lot of hate, whether it's his personality or kind of other stuff I won't get into. But I think as a driver, I think he is overhated. I think Mikey will probably punch my face in for saying that, but that's what I
No,
thought.
everyone's entitled to their opinions, even if it's completely irrelevant. I'm joking.
No, my personal opinion on Stroll, I don't like him, but I don't dislike him. I think you've obviously got to have some form of talent to be in an F1 car. You can't just be some complete idiot by
Yeah.
run of the mill. But at the same time, like you say, Mikey, there are a lot of up and coming drivers that really should be given a chance. My mind always will go back to Teo Pourchaire, who won the F2 championship. How that man never got a Formula One seat, I will never get it, because he was absolutely brilliant. We've had people like Mazepin and Latifi in the sport, Sargent as well, and Teo Pourchaire never got a seat. There was Drugovic as well. He won the Formula 2 championship. He's never had a Formula 1 seat. There's drivers like that waiting in the wings, and this man only in because his dad owns the team. I also think Best Noah has been dropped a chance of being in Formula 1. He won the Formula 2 World Championship. So, if there's any Formula 1 teams knocking Best Noah, there's
That
your
is
guy.
poor, mate.
There is one driver that I saw at Silverstone that really stands out, because every time I put the F2 on, it's that Solov guy,
Oh, yeah, Nikola Solov.
Nicholas Solov. Yeah, he's really performing at the moment, and I think he will probably be the next one to come through.
Yeah.
I think it's got Red Bull written all over it. So let's just hope that Lindblad, Lawson, and Hadjar all keep performing, because I think they're all doing well as a group of four with Verstappen. That's the next question. So, do you think the second driver curse has been broken at Red Bull?
Most certainly. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
Red Bull fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Max fan. But the things Hadjar has done, I mean, in his first qualifying session against Verstappen, he beat him. Don't get me wrong. Verstappen was out. But, Hadjar has been incredibly good this season. If, you always go back to like Horner, and he always used to say, oh, we just need someone that picks up the points when Max is out, or we just need someone that's consistently scoring points. That's exactly what Hadjar is doing. But just quickly going back to the Solov thing, I think Red Bull are in a real pickle, because you don't want to get rid of Max. You don't want to get rid of Hadjar. Lawson and Lindblad are also performing. Now you've got Solov that could win the F2 championship. If they don't put him in an F1 seat, somebody else will. So what do Red Bull do in that situation? Because, like you say, Hadjar's seemingly broken the curse. You've got two drivers in V-Carb that are brilliant. Obviously, you're not getting rid of Max Verstappen. Red Bull are screwed.
I think that problem will fix itself, because I think Max will leave.
At the end of this year?
I don't know if it's going to be the end of this year, but I think Max will go with Giampiero. I think they'll both leave. I think that Max will go to Mercedes, and I think Russell will be out of a seat.
Oh.
And I think Red Bull will go for what Mercedes did with Antonelli. They'll just put their trust in the young uns, because I think part of Red Bull's problem, and it's no fault of Max's, but I think it's Max's fault, because of his dad being too involved and causing all of the drama with Christian Horner.
Yeah.
But I think that problem will fix itself. And I think, that's my big episode 1 statement. Max will go to Mercedes at the end of the year, and Russell will be without a seat.
Okay. Blake, opinions? What do you think about the whole Red Bull situation and the second driver curse?
I think it's a very interesting situation for a team to be in, because in essence they're sort of suffering from their own success, in the sense that they've got too many drivers and not enough seats. I think it's wrong to get rid of Lawson and Lindblad under the circumstances. I think the only way that happens is, I think it will have something to do with kind of what goes down at Williams or Haas, in terms of, does Sainz stick it out with Williams, and does Ocon obviously get the boot, which is looking more likely by the day. I think once that decision is made between what those kind of drivers are doing, that could present an opportunity for Solov to go into perhaps a lower team. Obviously, it won't be in the Red Bull system, but we have seen in situations before where, as long as they're on the grid, Red Bull might still support them. in that kind of case. But I think it is a bit of an issue. I think obviously, like Mikey said, it depends very much on what Verstappen does, and I think his destination is also quite limited in the sense that if Russell obviously he is struggling, I say struggling, he has obviously had some success this year, but he is struggling in comparison to Antonelli. If it's him who leaves, it seems almost wrong in the sense that he's finally got a chance to be fighting for a championship, and now he's getting the boot immediately. And I also think McLaren, it's not really a destination for him because it's a very foolproof lineup with Norris and Piastri. I think it's very difficult to look at one of those two and say one of them has to go. And I think if one of them does have to go, it will be Oscar. But it's a very big, big talking point whether it's interesting how an F2 driver can have such an effect on what could happen in F1. I think, like you were saying earlier, with Drogovic and Porcher and people like that, I think Fornaroli is one of those as well. I think
Definitely.
he has masses of potential, but there's just nowhere to put him. I've seen a lot of Haas talk and stuff like that. So yeah, F2. There's a lot of F2 drivers waiting in the wings, and there's not enough F1 seats for them. It's almost we need a 12th team. We need 24 cars. We'll get a few more in, but
I think there's a couple of drivers though that are ready to go, and I think Ocon and Hulkenberg, their time's probably up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would have said last season that Gasly's time is too, but I think his performances at the start of the season, and they haven't been as good as of late. But I think that's more the car than anything. But his performances at the start of the season were really impressive. And I think Ocon and Hulkenberg will go, but it's whether it's going to take a Hamilton or an Alonso to probably shake up the market a little bit if they were to go. But I don't think they're going to go just yet. But I was just looking at the chat, and Executioner Sam, I don't know how to say it, said Max to Mercedes, Russell to Aston Martin, Alonso to Alpine, and Colapinto to reserve. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? I don't know if it's a genuine prediction, but I saw it and I thought I even responded to it saying that's bold because that's a lot of movement. I don't see why Alonso would move to go and work with his old team manager that he knows is an arsehole.
Yeah, I mean, there was, what was that? Crashgate, wasn't it? That Briatore and Alonso were involved in together, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
in
why would
Singapore.
Alonso want to go back to that path that he's already been down? I don't think that's a very wise choice. But thing is, I mean, we've got what, a week, 2 weeks until Zandvoort, I think. I think it might even be
It's
this
this weekend.
Sunday. Yeah. We've had no silly season. We've been off for Formula One for 4 weeks, and there's normally, these massive driver moves, and one guy goes and it kicks everything off. There's been nothing. No announcements.
There's been a little bit of talk about who I've seen. So Perez has been linked with a move away from Cadillac, and Sainz has been linked with a move away from Williams. But other than that, there's not really been anything. The biggest talk of the season for me was obviously Gianpiero Lambiase moving to McLaren. But yeah, like you say, there's not been much else. I think the thing I'm keeping my eye on is the calendar because we might be losing Abu Dhabi and Qatar, which they've already said if we do, they're going to move it to Europe. So for me, if they move it to Europe, I'll be heavily invested in that, and I want to know because for me, a Silverstone in November, I would love. It would be absolutely epic. But so then there we go. There's the next question. So if they move the two tracks, what two tracks are we picking? I'll let you go first, Blake, and then we'll go after JP.
I think for me, on old F1 games especially, I think Hockenheim, this is obviously not necessarily realism. This is more of like a hypothetical, if everything went to plan, this is what I'd have. I think Hockenheim is one of the best tracks in the world. I think it's thrown up so many surprising results, so many
Sebastian Vettel
interesting.
in the wall.
Exactly,
In the rain.
exactly. It's yeah, it always throws up talking points. There's either like car upside down at turn one, or someone's bottled a championship, or it's a dry to wet race. I think it's just a great track. It's amazing to drive, good racing. It's also in a country with Germany that's got such deep motorsport roots in the sense of Mercedes and
Yeah.
BMW and things like that, where it feels wrong that there's not a race in Germany. Instead, we have two in Spain and however many's in America now.
We've got
Um,
two, three. Is it
Three, isn't
four?
it?
Three.
Cota,
Texas,
Cota,
Miami,
Vegas, and Miami.
Vegas. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
absolutely.
in America. We've got one. I would love to see another one in England, because I think it would get the sales, and people would go and see it. But I understand why they do so many in America. It's such a big country. It's got such a big fan base, and they are American owned. And that's one thing, I will say is I think that the Americans owning the sport haven't done a harm to it. I think they've only increased. I went to Silverstone this year, and it felt like I was in a Forza Horizons, area. It was incredible. Whereas, roll back to 2004, 5, it was just I can't even think about what I used to do when I was there. Like there was so much to do this time. Should we ask if chat's got any questions? Because I know JF1's been popping in, seeing if he could ask a question. So the first 3 people to ask a question in the chat, we will answer. And then should we just take a quick break, JP?
Yeah, sure thing. So what I
while
will
we get their
say
questions
as
in.
well, going back to your point about tracks, are we being realistic here, or can I just say any track on the world?
I would say probably realistic. I mean, if you can say any track you want, but we'll do that. We'll cover that later.
Well,
What track do you miss off the calendar? But if you be realistic now,
Hockenheim #1, 100%. And then the thing that's always bugged me about Formula One is they call it a world championship, yet we don't race in every continent. Obviously, you can't race in Antarctica. That would be, you'd have penguins on the track. Why don't we race in Africa? We need Kyalami. It has to happen. Realistically, Hamilton isn't going until we get the racing Kyalami anyway. So unless we want Hamilton around until he's 70 years old and balding, which he already is twice, we need Kyalami on the calendar. 100%.
if that's your choice, then so be it. Right, what we'll do is we'll take a quick 5-minute break. Me, JP, and Blake will just do a bit of chatting behind the scenes and get ready for the next part of the podcast. We've got 3 questions written down. The season, I've got 3 questions written down, so we'll cover those, and then we'll answer some more questions and cover some more random shit.
Right,
so we'll catch you in a minute.
I don't have a break scene, so you are going to be looking at Up Next Grand Prix, but trust me, there's no racing going on unless I'm...
Put the podcast one back on.
Unless me and Mikey want to run around our living room or whatever and have a quick race.
Put the podcast one with the great AI song that I made for the podcast that everyone absolutely hates.
Yes.
It's the worst song in human history, mate.
Everybody, make sure you learn the lyrics, because what we're going to do next week is we're going to open up the podcast to everyone, and if you can come in and sing every word, we'll give you 100 quid. That's from Mikey's bank account. We'll see you in 5. Welcome
card for
back,
the meet and greet.
ladies and gentlemen. We are back once more. A little bit of time to debrief, but we have your questions to answer. Mikey, you've got them noted down, so I'll allow you to answer them first. I will say, don't do this like the damn launch party and answer them all on your own and get confused, okay?
I spent 20 minutes just sat there blabbering, didn't I?
You literally sat, and I was waiting there like, so when's he going to ask me? What's my opinion? Oh, no, Mikey's done. All right. Goodbye,
Yeah,
everyone.
it was the first time I'd ever spoke in front of the camera, so it was just bloody blah. But I was going to mention something. I saw it in the chat and I've forgotten. That's it. Just a quick one. W's in the chat if you like the song.
Oh,
Because I
good
want to know
God.
if you like the song. If you do, then let me know. Solar, I've just seen that you have popped a sub in for an interview. So we're going to answer these 3 questions and then we'll get you in for a quick 3-minute little interview. See what you've got to say for yourself.
Bro, people
Seeing
are
as you wanted to
actually
do it that much,
spamming
you
W's.
subscribed.
People are actually spamming W's.
Yeah,
We're
JF1's
actually getting
spamming
W's in chat.
L's, which means JF1, you are banned.
So Jay, you're banned from
Again.
MOR. You're banned from our Twitch, our TikTok. We're gonna come to your front door, mate.
Yeah,
He is
yeah.
14.
Yeah,
We're not gonna
JF1
come
is
to your door,
L,
JF1.
as said by Ollie. Right, so we'll start with the questions, yeah?
Wicked.
Where did I put those? Let me find them. So, meet and greet happening. This one from MCL. Thank you, Kian, for the gifted sub. So yeah, meet and greet happening. I'm all for it. I think it's great. It'll be the only thing that I don't pay for. Just saying. That will be a fund your own. But I think the a meet and greet would be really cool. Obviously for 18 and over. Just saying. Have to put that out there. Disclaimer. But you know, I'll put a poll up, and if anyone is interested, or if I get a few people message about being interested in it, then I think I don't see it being an issue. Obviously, me, MCL, and Matt Connor met up at Silverstone. Great fun. Drunk far too much. Ruined the weekend, but it was worth it. But yeah, meet and greet. I'm definitely up for it. Ollie, I will sign your WRC top, seeing as it is now retro because we've rebranded. Next question is the future of MOR esports.
That's a deep
So
one.
can I just paste the Sunday stream now and then
Yeah,
leave that one?
literally. Just if you want the whole breakdown of the future, then obviously go and watch the launch party.
Yeah, there's a whole hour-and-a-half video of it, but in short, just grow. More races every day, better competition, more variety of drivers. I want to branch out into an esports division, so I'm looking at recruiting some drivers to race professionally. With all prize money going to them, nothing to the league. As long as the league breaks even, there's nothing. You know, this is not a profitable thing for me. I don't care about that. We earn from subscriptions and obviously through the app. Hopefully, with that, if that picks up. But MOR merch again, execution said about that. That's definitely something that I want to look into. Currently in a few talks with a few companies about what's the word, partnerships. One of which they haven't agreed to it yet, but I ordered some gloves from the other day, so I'm just going to give you a little demonstration.
Oh yes.
Because everyone took the piss out of my other gloves, so yeah, they're these. Really good, really nice gloves. They feel good on the steering wheel, and they're relatively reasonable pricing as well. So I'm looking at either getting a partnership with those or using some of the income from Twitch, from TikTok, from subscriptions on the app to maybe do a few giveaways. But the future for me is just to keep it going, keep as many people in it as we can. Everyone has fun. Make a nice environment. Someone says they prefer the Ferrari oven gloves. Fine. Give me a second.
He's gotta go and get him. He's gotta go and get him. If you're not aware, ladies and gentlemen, Mikey had these old Ferrari gloves for his wheel, and everyone, and I mean everyone, used to go on about it. Blake, I'm sure you're aware of all the memes and all the chatter that Mikey used to get with those Ferrari gloves.
Oh mate, they're absolutely class. They're one of the greatest things I've ever seen, to be honest. The sheer size of them in comparison to his wheel is absolutely class. It
He's
is
got
truly
him.
special.
Bad
There
boy.
he is. Now that is what we wanted to see.
You look
And
like
people took the
Iron
piss,
Man.
They're great.
You honestly look like you should be collecting Infinity Stones, not racing for pole position.
Do you know what? These have cooked many a nuggets.
The
Oh
best
my
thing was
God.
with them. I've had a screenshot somewhere that was like off of one of his streams. He has Ferrari gloves on. I think he had like it might have been that Aston shirt. He has an Aston shirt on, and then he had a different team's hat on.
And then he's
He's just
driving
sat
for
there.
like Mercedes or something.
Yeah, he's sat there repping 3 different teams.
Got them all back.
with
I'll
our
tell
name
you what,
gloves on.
a lot of people, again, if you like them, put a W in the chat. Let's see if that works.
Oh,
If
come
I get a
on.
load.
Oh, he's begging it
Maybe
now.
there was talks of a charity event. Maybe we'll do a charity an auction for them and see
Oh, good God.
who could buy them. I'll make sure I've worn them a lot as well. But yeah, see, there's W's in there, even if it's from the same person. But yeah, the future for MOR is, just keep building the community we've got. It's not about money. Yes, we brought the premium thing out, but a lot of people know I've put a lot of money into it, and it's just about breaking even. It's not completely important, but it is, it is important to keep in the league going in the right direction. Another little thing we were talking about is giveaways. This here is something that I've been looking into. This is going to be our first giveaway. It's a poster, as you can see, of a Ferrari going around, I believe, Monaco, I think.
Yeah, it is Monaco.
Yeah. So this here will be our first giveaway, which I'm tempted to do in this stream now with the 30 odd people that we've got. So how can we do that? How can we run a giveaway in here tonight?
Good question.
Screams of a spin wheel for me. Get everyone in the chat.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. Let me pull up the old spin wheel application and whack that on my second monitor for now. Anyone that wants to be in the giveaway, put your, I don't know, put something in the, put gloves. No, not gloves. Put, I don't know. Say
your favorite Ferrari driver of all time.
There you go. Favorite Ferrari driver of all time. Whack him in the chat, and we will add your name to a spin wheel. We'll give it, what, 5 minutes, so I can add everyone into the wheel. We've got Executioner.
So me and JP getting on this wheel, Mikey.
I'm already adding myself, I'll be honest.
Yeah, put me on it as well.
Mikey's going on it as well.
Them.
Blake, we've got Llama, we've got Scooters, we've got Ollie, we've got JF1, we've got Solar, we've got MCL, we've got Connor, who I believe is Sidemen.
Yes, Harvey, it does involve TikTok as well. I'll read those names out once JP's done the Twitch chat.
Perfect. We've got... Okay, looks like that's all the names for now on Twitch. So, Mikey, who's on TikTok?
So we have Harvey.
Harvey.
Jaden.
Jaden.
Isn't that just
Dan...
JF1 again?
No, Dan T.
Demty.
Dan letter T, yeah. Bacon 44.
Bacon 44.
Gersi, Gersi.
Yeah.
We have one with no name, but it says, I think the last name, it says Matilda Brown in the username, so we'll go for Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda.
That's Telly Brown from the league, isn't it?
I don't know.
Probably. I mean, that makes sense. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it does make sense, but I've said it out loud now, so it don't make sense. And that is it from the TikTok. So, oh no, we've got another one, Kabir, Kabir.
Is he
You've got to make
Fire,
sure you're all following us as well.
Yeah.
Make sure you're all following us. Solo, we will join the WRC yet now. We'll join the MOR Discord after these questions, and we can get you in for your interview, mate. Don't you stress.
Right, I've got everyone from the Twitch and the TikTok. That's now done. Everyone is on the wheel. I do just want to answer a question. Aviation saying, yo, JP, what was your favourite race that you ever commentated? I'm going to give you a John Cena here. It's the next race. Because all the races are better than the last.
Cold.
And on that bombshell, we move to our spin wheel then, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we've got all the names on the right-hand side. We're ready. Does someone want to give me a countdown here, or are we just spinning the wheel? Come on, we've got to build a bit of hype here.
Spin the wheel. Just go. Or, hang on.
Ah! Ah! No, reload.
Close the tab. Close the tab.
Okay, right. Whoever won that, I mean, we didn't see. What's your idea, Mikey?
JP, play the song.
Oh no.
Oh, good
And
God.
when the song finishes, if the wheel spins 3 times, whoever it is finishing on at the end of that song gets the prize.
Okay, right. Let me add the song to this scene.
And we all get the song one more time. So, well, maybe a couple more times.
Down goes my volume.
The chat probably won't be able to hear us, and I probably won't be able to hear either of you. But we will get the song
music,
on.
though. That's all the key.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
chat.
we play the song. I will spin the wheel constantly. Whoever pops up while the song is playing, you're not the winner. Don't start thinking, and getting all ratty about it. I don't want to hear it. As soon as the song ends, whoever has spun the wheel and has won, when the song's done, they win the giveaway. I hope that all makes sense.
Let's do it.
Here's the song then.
Engines roar, the lights go out. MOR Sports, hear the crowd. Wheel to wheel, we're chasing glory. Every race becomes a story. From the grid to the checkered flag. Big moves, big wins, no holding back. News, reviews, and racing talk. This is MOR Esports.
Is the next one. I feel like if you land on the wheel, you've not got a
This is
great
MOR
chance.
Esports.
It's going to go to the opposite side. Jaden is going to take it.
This is MOR Esports. Welcome to the MOR Esports podcast.
That's the song over. And it's Dan T that wins the giveaway.
There we go.
So Dan T, you will be getting a Ferrari Monaco poster coming your way. A lot of people saying respin and rigged. I don't know how we can rig a spin wheel, chat. Well, that was a fun little segment, a giveaway from...
Literally right in front of your eyes. But drop the Liga message on TikTok if you're not in the Discord, and we'll get that sorted out for you. Congratulations. While we're here, shall we move on to a certain somebody that's waiting for an interview after gifting a sub?
Most certainly. So joining us, I guess we've done 2 giveaways then, really. A gifted sub for an interview. Joining us is a man that everybody hates when they are watching races and racing against him. So I guess we will finally get to hear what he says. I have got the CM Punk t-shirt on. He may drop a pipe bomb here today. We've got Solar in the Discord with us. Solar, first of all, good evening. How are you, mate?
Good evening. I am good, thank you. How are you?
Very well. Mikey, you all good? Blake, we all good here?
Yep, just my microphone's falling off. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, I was until that song played for like a minute straight, but yeah, I'm alright.
Well,
How are we all
Solar,
about its peak song?
obviously you've joined for an interview, my friend. The first thing I will ask you is, obviously there's been a lot of chatter about you in MOR and how quick you've been and how you've dominated the races. Does that at all put you off your game a little bit?
No, I'm not even that quick. What are you on about?
Mikey,
He's just glazing now. Not even that quick.
I must say, obviously it's the social races that you've really sort of been performing in recently. I do believe you are signed up for one of the full-time days, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Sunday, 4 p.m.
Sunday. So how does your mentality change? We were discussing this at the start of the stream. How do you differently go into a race from a social race where it doesn't mean anything, there's no championship, there's no points, to then going into this division, especially Sundays where there is a prize pool as well? How do you change the way you prepare for a race almost, and how do you prepare your mentality for that sort of event?
If I'm being honest with you, I actually do practice the track that will be raced on that certain day, which makes it different, so then I have more experience with it. I also change my mentality from having a bit of fun to being more serious, not trying stupid and silly moves.
Yeah, that
But other than that, it's not that different.
no, that makes sense. Mikey, have you got any questions for the man himself?
Yeah, I'm just fixing my microphone again. Just a quick one from me. the question's already gone. Blake, you answer first, and I'll come back because I've completely gone mind blank.
Nice,
I've
mate.
got it.
I'm a big fan of
I've got
your
it. Got it. What I remember. So, look, if you had to pick one thing from MOR/WRC, what's your standout moment, if you can even remember any of them?
A Grand Slamming at Monaco in the 26 cars.
Oof,
Yeah,
that's a good
fair.
shout. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't argue
Monaco's,
with that.
I enjoyed
look,
that race.
Monaco's always nice to win. It used to be me before you joined, so thank you for that.
No, I just like felt quick in that race, especially with the rain.
Yeah, in the rain, you were incredible in the rain. But yeah, Blake, go on, you mate. You answer the question, mate.
Solar mate, in your opinion, I know I did see this in the chat, so if you say my name again, I will. But in your opinion, who is the top 3 most washed drivers in MOR currently?
Oh, God. Well, for starters, if we want to say most recently washed, I'm sorry, Micah boy, but it's got to go to you. You've been off for a while and you haven't
Unreal.
raced. You've fallen off the pace a little bit, so unfortunately, top one might have to go to you.
Cheers, Blake.
Oh dear.
And
Dug
number
you a
2,
hole.
Blake, if you I've heard that you were the F2 champion the year before, if I remember correctly.
I won my first race last week, mate. How could I be washed?
Well,
Fair
considering the
enough.
fact that you
Look at
haven't
Blake
defended your
defended it
title,
straight away.
Yeah, but I'm washed in F2. I'll accept that. That's
But-
a valid comment.
if I'd have to go for the third person that's washed, I wouldn't know actually. If I'm being honest with you, what's a terrible voice.
I've
it's
escaped
just
from the
me and Mikey,
gulag. I've
basically.
escaped from the.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna go all 3 of us. I've escaped.
Oh, you, JP. Oh yeah, I remember you winning the first race of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I won. I'm saying this right now. I want this on record on stream. I was the quickest driver in WRC for 24 hours when the game first came out. Literally the day it came out, nobody had setups, and I was the quickest. So I'm blaming it on the fact that everyone spends money on their setups, and I just build
and then
mine.
you fell off a cliff. I haven't spent a single pound on the setups, mate.
Because you're in a team.
Get good.
I can't believe this.
All right, who
Can we get
who-
JF1 here instead, bro?
So Solar, who are you most impressed of? Like, you've done quite a few of the social races. I know you've been out the front for most of it, but when you've been in and amidst the field, is there a driver that sort of stands out that you've been quite impressed by?
It's got to be Kevin Zinneberg.
Yeah.
He is genuinely one of the quickest people I've ever raced against.
That's the question that I've got to ask. So that race that was wet, I can't remember what the track was. I think it was Australia.
Yeah.
Kevin comes in the chat and says this is his first ever wet race on the game. You come in the chat, literally the chat after his, I'm insane in the wet. Why did you lose that race, Solar?
Because I'm washed. Also, I had a bad setup, probably. I was using my race setup for my wet quality setup. Or wet. Yeah. On my rain setup. But it wasn't that good of a setup in terms of pace, but it just felt nice in the rain, so I just stuck with it.
So,
it turns out it was not quick either.
So the answer is that Kevin's better than you.
Obviously.
Yeah, to be fair, Solar never said he was better than Kevin.
I don't dispute that.
that,
Kevin
yeah.
is so much better than me. It's not even close.
We need to get.
Who is the fastest person you've ever raced against, Solar? Would you say Kevin?
I can't really remember that many people I've raced against, but I think if it was other than Kevin, there'd be someone else called Sabuka back in one of my old leagues who nowadays is genuinely mentally rapid,
Yeah.
and I would never be able to catch him. But back then he was kind of inconsistent and washed.
Yeah. If there's one person, I don't know, from esports that you'd like to race against, who would it be?
You know what, Mia?
Yeah. Why is that?
Because he's the GOAT. I watch his videos every now and then, and he's great to watch. His videos are funny. And
There you go. There's your advertisement, guys. I'll clip that and I'll put that on TikTok and tag him.
Yeah,
We'll get in
there
the
we go.
comments and start tagging him. We'll get him in for a social race. Kevin, Solar, and Yarno fight
I'll
for the
probably
lead.
get spanned by him.
I'll tell you what I would like to see. I did see some. This completely doesn't even relate to Solar. I don't know why I'm saying it now, but in that race that Kevin and Milk did, Ollie asked Milk after the race if he thought that he could beat Kevin, and Milk said yes with full confidence.
Yeah, but we know
Solar.
what milk is like.
Solar, have you raced Milk before? I assume you have.
Yeah, I have back in like season 3.
Do you think that Milk could beat Kevin?
No.
No, milk is very quick, and there's no taking that away from him. But Milk likes to get involved in accidents.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be the I don't think he'd moan at me saying that, because everyone knows that Milk is very quick, and at a point he was the quickest in the league. But I think that's I've been able to race Milk before. Other people have put up a fight before. He's not the most consistent, but he is quick over a single lap. Milk is very, very quick. But he's pardon the pun, but he's maybe gone off a little bit.
Oh God.
Oh, dearie me.
God.
Oh good God. Somebody. end the
Any
stream.
questions from you, Solar?
No, can't really.
You
say.
put the poor boy on the spot.
I did, yeah. He was begging for an interview, so we brought him in.
Hey, no,
Can't
I
call him that.
wasn't.
But yeah,
Okay,
no,
don't bring the chat up. Don't.
Thank you
don't
for
bring
the
chat up.
gifted sub, mate. Appreciate it, and thank you for.
I'm
popping
broke
in.
now because of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. There'll be another £50 race coming up soon, and I'll
Oh,
make
love it.
sure.
I'll get Span and Die
practice.
Kevin again. Love it.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get
Yeah.
Otmir in for that one.
Crikey.
Oh, it's not enough money, I don't think.
Nah, it's a
He
good
can pay the
point.
50 quid.
Probably.
Yeah, that's gonna go down well. But yeah, thanks for coming in, Soda, mate. Appreciate the sub, and look forward to seeing you. Are you doing the 8 PM esports as well, or are you not taking part in that one?
On Sundays, no, I'll be racing somewhere else, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's only
Well,
4
let us know
AM, I
when,
can,
let us know when
not
we're
for
good
me.
enough for you. I'm only joking.
Right.
Thanks for coming in, mate.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you,
Take
Solo.
care, mate.
Take
See you
care.
later.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
Right. So then, shall we talk about this weekend's race? Obviously, guys, I see the chat numbers are going down, so we're probably going on a bit too long. So we'll wrap up soon. So maybe should we finish with a prediction for this weekend?
Yeah, most certainly.
Also, when should we do these podcasts? Because I said weekly, but I've kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
I'd
was
be up to
thinking
doing it a
that.
bit
I
more.
I said at the start, oh, it'll probably just be every Sunday, but now I kind of want to do it maybe, let's say, every half a week. I
Yeah,
would say.
I think even if we started off with more frequent and then extended it out, I think there's been a lot of interaction. I think people have enjoyed it, which is cool. So we'll have a chat about that and we'll announce it. We're going to look at releasing the podcast as an audio as well, so people can just sit and listen to it if they're sad enough to want to listen to us yap on about some stuff. But yes, Blake, we'll start with you. Your predictions for the sprint and the feature this weekend, top 3.
I didn't even know there was a sprint race. That's news to me.
Where is matey?
But yeah, no, that's good. More racing's always better. I think realistically, you do have to just look at Antonelli. Again, I think he is pretty much untouchable for as long as Russell isn't competitive. I think outside of that, I'd expect a strong weekend from Hadjar. I think obviously we saw last year, even when he was a rookie, he got a podium around Zandvoort, be it thanks to Antonelli that day for killing off Leclerc. But no, I think Hadjar you can definitely look to be strong. I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 5 or competing for a podium. I think Ferraris will again be solid. But I think it's definitely going to be a closer gaps than it was prior to the summer break. While it is a break, there'll still be data being ran and improvements being conceptualized. So I think obviously the field spread will be smaller. I expect a good weekend from Hadjar, like I said. I think Antonelli will dominate. And yeah, I think Aston will do better again. But they can't really get much worse, let's face it. So yeah, I think for me, I'd go Antonelli wins. If I had to do the whole podium, I'd say Antonelli first. I'd go. I'd chuck like a Leclerc second, Verstappen third, and then Russell just misses out in fourth, probably for me, and then Hadjar fifth.
And
my
is
top
that
5?
We'll do that for. Do you want me to do that for the main race or the sprint race?
I'd say main. Sprints are a bit more unpredictable. Anything can really happen. It's sort of more of a testing session for those outside of the top 8.
So
I think it's get
for in
points.
your sprint then. Give me a sprint prediction.
I'll mix up then. I'll go Leclerc first, Antonelli second, and then we'll go Hadjar third.
Ooh.
So you said Leclerc, Antonelli, and Hadjar, yeah?
Yeah, for the sprint, and then for the main, what I said earlier.
Yeah, cool. JP, what about you, mate?
To be honest, I mean, I'm going to be biased. I'm a Max Verstappen fan, but Max, it's his last ever Dutch Grand Prix. Realistically, I said it on the stream earlier. I'm sure there will be Dutch Grand Prix in the future, but certainly for Verstappen, I will assume that it's going to be his final home race. I think he is just going to go, for the lack of phrase, balls to the wall with it, and just think, I
Yeah.
have got to try and win this race.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to give a top three, I would say for the sprint, Antonelli wins it, Hamilton second, Verstappen third. For the
Yeah.
race, this is half prediction, half praying. Max Verstappen wins, Antonelli second, Leclerc in third.
Nice. It's not a bad choice at all.
I
Yeah.
definitely think Hadjar will be a dark horse. I would definitely be looking at people like Lawson as well. Obviously, McLaren have been very good. I definitely think they could sneak a really good points haul here.
Yeah.
But this track, obviously, it's quite hard to overtake. It's not the greatest for racing in the world. Qualifying is obviously big. There's usually a safety car or some sort of big airplane shunt wherever it is on the track. So safety cars and strategies could always play a big part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Max is his final home race. He hasn't won in the Red Bull this year, but I think if there's any time he's going to win this year, it will be this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think it's going to be a Max win in the sprint.
Ooh.
And I think Antonelli will come second and Hamilton third. I think Russell's problems will continue. I think in the main race, Antonelli will struggle. I think the McLarens will come through in the feature race. I think Lando Norris is on a bit of form, and I think they found the way to work with the car. So, yeah, sprint I think is going to be Verstappen, Antonelli, and Hamilton. And then in the feature, I'm going Norris, Hamilton, and Antonelli. I think there could be some reliability issues for Mercedes again. I think they could have a bit of a trouble. What's everyone saying in the chat? Pick your race winner for. Let's spam the chat with your race winner for the sprint race. Let's see.
I must say, I
see.
kind of forgot about the McLarens. I do think they've somewhat got onto something as of late.
Yeah, that Hungary race win was a statement
Most
from
certainly.
Norris. So you've got Executionism saying Max, Kian saying Lando, Sander saying Max. Oh, Sander, are you going to the race? Tilly Harvey, F1 Comms saying Lando winning. I agree. I think Lando's going to run away with the feature. Hungary and Zandvoort are very similar.
Yeah,
I think
very true.
a lot of fast-paced corners, quite a tight track. But I think it suits the Ferraris as well. But I think with it being a sprint race, I think the Ferraris will perform a bit better. But I think it'll take a McLaren a little while to get the car up and running. So I'm thinking the sprint race they'll try something new, see if they can unlock a bit more, and then if not, they'll run back to the Hungarian sort of setup for the race. But yeah, Sander, the race. So Sander's there the whole weekend, so you need to make sure you spam Discord with a load of videos and pictures.
Yeah.
And apparently, from what I've read anyway, that there is going to be rain
Apparently.
across the weekend because the temperatures have dropped. It's only going to be highs of like 20, 21. So I'm hearing that there's going to be quite a bit of potential rain, which I don't know if that's going to make it better or worse because there's no overtaking opportunity in the rain anymore. You might see some safety cars or you might see some spontaneous results, but
Well, I mean, obviously it's not in this year's, let's say, configuration, but there was that race, was it 2024, when it suddenly really started raining within about 10 minutes and you had cars flying off the road. There was people on full wet tires. It was the first time full wet tires were used in like years in Formula One. I mean, if it's going to be that sort of rain, then definitely expect a chaotic Grand Prix. If it is just sort of light rain, maybe inters, you've got to look at drivers that are good in changeable conditions. Your mind instantly goes to someone like a Max, a Russell, a Lando. that is good in wet conditions and when it's changing from dry to wet. Obviously, you can never rule Lewis Hamilton out. I would also look at someone like maybe Fernando, where the Aston has not been competitive. They did take a step in Hungary. They were into Q2 for the first time the whole season,
Yeah.
with Fernando actually being in the qualifying experience in abundance. That's the kind of driver you want in your car in changeable conditions. Stroller's also very decent in the wet as well. Cadillacs will probably blow up somewhere along the line.
Well, if it rains, their brakes might not blow up.
That's a very
Be
good
a
point. So
miracle.
I'm changing my predictions. Cadillac 1-2. Bottas over Perez.
Oh, can you imagine? I remember the Brawn 1-2 in Australia.
Oh, yes.
Oh, bringing back the memories. So, yeah, I think there's potential across the weekend for sure. I think there's going to be some good action, and it'll be good to have Formula One back. Now the question is, do we end the podcast there, or do we carry on? Because I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm having good fun. So should we let the chat decide?
Yeah. W's in
After
chat.
people's bedtime.
W's in chat if you want the stream to continue. L's in the chat if you want us to stop for now.
Yeah, we need at least 10 different people saying W, because there's 20 people in here.
Yeah.
At least 10 people to say carry on, and then we'll carry on. That's the deal.
Make
While everyone decides
stand
all of
still.
that, Blake, I've got a question for you. I know you're quite the man of music. You like your music. Obviously, Zandvoort is quite a party atmosphere, shall we say, before the race. If you were driving in the Dutch Grand Prix and you had one song on your playlist that you had to play in your headphones before you went into that race, what song would you play?
That is a question. Oh mate, you've dug me a hole.
Caught you
here.
off guard there.
Tell you what, give me 2 minutes and I'll give you a plausible answer.
No worry.
A
Mikey,
plausible answer, sir.
Mikey, have you got a
Sure.
song in mind that you would play before a Dutch Grand Prix? And just remember, our chat is kind of 15 to 16, so like the heebie-jeebies and the Beatles and all that sort of thing. They don't
so
get that.
I've been thinking about my dad a lot lately. So I would go for Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne. That's what I would.
That's a
to get me-
really good shout.
to
That
get
would
me
get you in the
riled up, ready to
zone.
take Max Verstappen out and win the race in front of the Orange Army. Yeah, Crazy Train all day long.
That would be a great shout.
Yeah.
Blake, have you got a plausible answer for me, sir?
Maybe 30 seconds more, mate. The plausible answer's nearly arrived.
Let's have a look in the chat then. We have got a lot of people spamming W's. We've got Sander saying Paper Thin Remix by Hunters. Can't say I've ever heard of it, to be completely honest.
Can't play the music
But-
because it will restrict our videos everywhere.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Um,
JP, I've just sent you a message in the chat about a graphic I want you to just throw up as well when you get a second.
Perfect, will do. Let's take a look.
While you do that, then, shall I pick a random topic? So before we did this, we did a generic sort of topics for discussion sort of thing, which I've now lost. Actually, where did I put? I sent it to you privately, didn't I?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to pick something completely random, and then we're going to discuss it because we didn't quite get 10 people, but a lot of people say carry on. So why the hell don't we just carry on?
Yeah, might as well. Maybe
unless
by
you
the end of
guys-
the stream, Blake will have an answer for me.
I have got a plausible answer.
Okay, go on then, hit me.
Plausible, sir.
So I'd say this is based off kind of. So the only thing I can kind of compare it to. So imagine if you're an F1 driver, you've got to be like in the zone, locked in, kind of hype a little bit. This is based off kind of what I listened to before I play basketball. So it's kind of I play for like a team. So it's what I listen to before games. Probably like my go-to is either "You Broke My Heart" by Drake or "Kick Out" by Travis Scott. But if we're talking favorite song right now, if other people want to chuck that in the chat as well, I'd say "The Color Violet" by Tory Lanez is my number one right now.
Respectable answers. Mikey, do you have any idea what Blake has just said?
I thought he was talking French, if I'm being honest, mate.
Nah, JP's got ball knowledge. That's fine. He knows. what I'm
Just a
talking
little bit. I would
Yeah.
say if I had to answer my own question, I would go with The Hills by the weekend, just because I feel like that
Solid.
chorus would I would genuinely be ready to knock Lewis Hamilton out before we even get into the cars. I'm strolling over to him. Oi, Lewis, mate,
You know,
how
you
you
said about
doing?
me punching you on
Bang.
stream. It will happen a lot sooner if you talk about punching Lewis.
Oh
Hamilton.
no, I'm going over to him before the race. Oh, Lewis, how you doing, mate? Bang, elbow to the face. He can't race anymore. I'm winning the Grand Prix.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right, so we'll pick a random. I'm just going to pick a completely random topic out of this massive list that the lovely friend of ours, ChatGPT, created for us.
Yep.
So we're going to go for real life Formula One,
Okay.
and this is open to everyone. I want to know your standout performer for the season so far, and who has disappointed you. And JP or Blake or me, if you two aren't ready, I'll go. Or are you
I'm
two
ready.
ready to have a go?
I can waffle a bit.
I'm ready for it. I think realistically, my overperformer of the season so far, who I didn't expect to perform, is easily Colapinto. I mean, I was one of the people before the season that was saying, why has he got a seat? I don't know why he's still in the sport. His first run was riddled with crashes like Sargent was, and he was still racing. He's now sat on 19 points, 12th in the championship. I think he's been brilliant, and I am kind of getting converted to be a little bit of a Colapinto fan. I think he's really proved everyone wrong.
Yeah. No, to be fair, I've really liked his performances so far this season. I think he's had a lot to deal with, especially with Flavio being his boss.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you watch Drive to Survive, but
Yeah.
he's had a lot of stick, from him, but also from other people from last season's episode. So I think that's a really good shout with Colapinto. I think that's it's a good shout. What about your disappointment, or should we do everyone's favourite?
Yeah, we might as
And
well
then
go
we'll
like
go.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Blake. You go then.
So my overperformer, I'd say I'd be looking at Arvid Lindblad in the V Carb. I think it's been very impressive, his development, obviously, as somebody who's literally only like 2 years older than myself, and I feel like a kid still. So it's crazy for him to kind of he's very much taken out the accident proneness that he kind of had in F2. I remember, I think Monza in F2, he had quite a poor weekend. It was riddled with just errors and stuff like that, and he's managed to kind of mitigate that. Now he's in F1, which normally you don't see. It normally gets worse. I think the most comparable to that is probably Bortoletto from last year. He showed flashes, but was kind of in a wall more times than he was out of it. So I think Lindblad's been very impressive in the sense that he's not crashed. That happens to rookies. That's not the end of the world. But he's not crashed. He's brought home solid points. He's not been far off his teammate, who is not the most experienced, but Lawson's got considerably more than Lindblad does. So for me, I think he's not like 2007 Lewis Hamilton type of rookie, but he's been very solid, and more solid than I thought he was when he got announced to be their driver this year.
Solid shout, I would have said.
Yeah. I'm torn because I'm trying not to take into, I could sit here and part of me wants to say Antonelli because his performances have been incredible, but then part of me says it's the car. But he's destroying his teammate. But then again, I could say that Russell has been unlucky. But then I could also put Russell as my biggest disappointment this year.
Yeah.
So I'm very torn, and I don't want to be the because of Lewis Hamilton person. But when you look at last season, to the position he was in last season, it takes a lot. After doing it for so long, I think it takes a lot to get back into the position he's got to, where he's almost taking that number one seat back from Leclerc. So for me, I would have to go with Hamilton because of the difference between last year and this year. But if I had to choose someone else, it would probably be Antonelli, because I think he's won more races than George Russell in Formula One already.
Yeah.
And he's done that in a season. I know he had last season, but he didn't win a race. He's done that in half a season. Yes, we could say it's the car, but whatever. But for me, I'm going to go with Hamilton. I just want to say thank you, Aviation, for the gifted sub there. We'll get Solar back in on these questions once we've done all of ours. In fact, there we go, Solar. We'll have your most impressed this season so far.
I'm similar with Blake on that. Of Arvid Lindblad has been performing very well this season, but I also have another one of Kimi Antonelli, and I feel like Monaco proved that so much with just him getting a Grand Slam and nearly winning by 50 seconds if it wasn't for the red flag.
Yeah, Monaco was a standout, and whenever you see someone perform like that in Monaco, it always takes me back to that video of Ayrton Senna,
Yes.
where they do that clip of where he's talking about how he feels like he's left the car, and he can see himself driving around the track, and that for me has stood out ever since I saw it. And seeing Antonelli do that drive, it just made me think of Senna like the whole time. People can call me stupid, but it just has the same resemblance. And I think, yeah, Antonelli's Monaco drive was incredible.
On the topic of Antonelli, I do just want to say I read this Instagram post the other day. The Italian Grand Prix hasn't been won by an Italian driver for 60 years. Is Antonelli going to be the one that breaks that?
No.
I think so, yeah.
Who do you think's winning Monza?
Hamilton or Leclerc. A Ferrari is winning that race.
Oh, confident that.
They do it every year. They always have a good Monza because they hold off on a few upgrades and they pile it all together.
Yeah.
So I reckon, how many races we got until Monza? Is it like 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2 or 3. It can't be many. But no, I just read that post and I thought it's a bit difficult because I then read the comments and someone that was Italian was saying, we don't really care because we're all behind Ferrari. Like, yes, it's an Italian driver winning, but he's driving for a German team. If he was in Ferrari, they'd all be in the grandstands. You'd have people doing backflips and it would look like a Travis Scott mosh pit. But it's not going to work that way when he's driving for a German team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Monza's next, so it wouldn't surprise me if you don't see any progression from Ferrari in Zandvoort. But I think though they do prioritise Monza because it can be quite embarrassing for them if it doesn't go well. Obviously, we got in the chat Alpine F1 Moopsy saying that Colapinto has been their standout driver. Kian saying Hajar. He had Hajar down as not scoring many points, and so far he's proven him wrong, and he's outperforming Max over race by race. I would say over the course of the season, I agree. I think he is outperforming Max Verstappen, which is pretty cool. So then, JP, if we go to your least impressed person, who would you go with?
Least impressed. I mean, it sounds harsh, and again, it could just be the excuse of, oh, it's the car. But Carlos Sainz. I mean, yes, the Williams project is very fresh. The car isn't the greatest thing in the world. But I think Sainz, since he's been in that Williams, has been very shaky. Hasn't shown any flashes of what he was in a Ferrari. In a Ferrari, he was a proven race winner. On particular weekends, he was beating Leclerc and head and shoulders above Leclerc. And now he's struggling to beat Alex Albon. He's a point ahead of him. And we're in the final half of the season. I expected a lot more from Sainz, I'll be honest. I knew that the Williams project wasn't going to be good, but I most certainly expected him to be above Gabriel Bortoleto in an Audi. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to take the car into account because if I was to take the car into account, it would be Stroll.
Yeah.
That's an easy. Like if you take into account Stroll's been there however many years, and you've got Perez and Bottas who obviously aren't doing very well, but they are doing very well. Their objective isn't to get points or win races. Their objective is to get that car into a position where it can start to work towards that. This year for them is just about survival. No major incidents, no massive injuries, nothing like that. It's just to get the car around that track every round and go from there. So
talking about Stroll though, if we're talking about drivers that you expected to be good and weren't, would you really have expected Stroll to do much? I mean, I'm just going to randomly put this out there. A lot of people asked me before 2026 who was going to win the World Championship, and I'll be completely honest, I said Fernando Alonso. I genuinely thought with Nui coming in and the new regs, and you've got Alonso in it, I just thought the dream was written. I could not have been more wrong at all.
I would have agreed with that statement if there was no regulation changes.
Yeah, that is very true.
Because Adrian Newey knew how to turn those cars around. He hasn't had any experience with these cars. He's just another engineer. Until he proves us wrong, he's just another engineer at the moment.
Yeah.
What about you, Blake? Who's your biggest disappointment?
So for me, mine's obviously somewhat a reflection of the car that he has been dealt with, but it's similar to what JP said. But I've gone for Alex Albon. I think it gets to a certain point where the car's very bad. That's not up for debate. It's heavier than anything, mate. It's an absolute boat. But I think you do have to at some point sit down and think, where is the ceiling of Alex Albon as a driver? Because there's only so many times where he's just extremely mediocre. Like last season, he had a good season, but it's never anything world-beating. There's no like absolute standout performance. Even at Red Bull, obviously it was younger then, and that does make a difference. But I think he's good, but he kind of fits into that kind of Hulkenberg kind of driver where they're good, but they're never good enough to be competing for wins and stuff.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
think from that standpoint, that's it. I think his speaking of like drivers that their time's sort of up, I think Albon needs to pull something out of the bag within the next 2 seasons, or he will just turn into like an Ocon kind of driver where they're all right, but they need to do something.
yeah, I mean, for me, for I would say probably 2 years now, Albon to me has been basically a worse version of Gasly. He's got the ceiling of Gasly where they can have really good races, and let's say there is chaos like Monza 2020, Albon could win a race. But the downside to Albon is his low is a lot lower than Gasly. Gasly is a he's probably one of the most consistent drivers in Formula One today, I would have said. Albon doesn't have that. He's like the stock market. He's really good, and then he's really bad, and then he's really good, and then he's really bad. And a Formula One team doesn't want that. Yes, you might be really good for half of the season, but then what happens for the other half of the season? You're just going to be poor and throw away points and stick the car in the wall?
Yeah. My pick is I've got two because I don't like having one, and it's not the legends of the sport, but it's some of the most experienced. I have to pick Hulkenberg and Ocon. Both being beaten by their teammates, both on like 1, maybe 2 point scoring positions this season. I think Ocon lost out to Behrman last season.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg, I think he beat Bortoleto, but Bortoleto really came on at the end of the season and has carried that on this season. So for me, I'm going to put them both at the same level as disappointment because Audi need Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg got his first podium last year. He should have really, carried on from that. It's as if he's happy and content with what he's done, and he's now just plodding along. If I was Haas, I would try and take a punt on one of those youngsters we mentioned earlier in the F2 division. I think that would be the right thing for them to do. At the end of the day, they've got nothing to lose. They've got a driver getting 2 points.
Yeah.
He clearly isn't helping the team in terms of pushing it forward anymore. So why wouldn't you take a risk like like Red Bull could or did with Max Verstappen? That's Soloff. Some of the other names you mentioned, I'm not so familiar with F2, but they could come in and they could transform that team. They could do something. So you never know. They could be the next Nicky Lauda, come in and completely change the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's
turn it upside down. So I think the teams at the back have always got an upper hand because they can try these new drivers and save money. They could do it as like we're giving you a Formula One seat, you pay us.
Yeah.
We don't need to pay you. But for me, I think Hulkenberg and Ocon are going to be without a seat next year.
I mean, it's like when Gil Bianchi went to Marussia, was it? I mean, they'd never scored a point in Formula One, and at Monaco, he produces an insane drive and finishes in 8th place and scores them their first points ever. It only takes one of those very, very special talents to jump in a lower team, have the hunger to want to prove themselves, and it helps the team as well. If you do look at someone like Nicolas Solov or Ugo Chukwu, or if that's how you pronounce his name, um, a driver like that is going to have the hunger to prove themselves, but at the same time could have those real flashes of brilliance that bring really rewarding points home to it, especially a team like Haas as well. What's the downside on taking a punt? Because you've already got Behrman, who is young, but is that guy. He is going to be a future Ferrari driver. Why not get someone in, and then Ollie can maybe go, this is what I did. You know, Ollie's rookie season was absolutely phenomenal. He can maybe pass down some of that wisdom of how that season was so good for him to one of these other rookies. You could build a real Haas super team, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Is Solar still in? Yeah, Solar. What about you? Who's your biggest disappointment?
I've got two, but I don't think JP's gonna like me for this. One of them, I might have to say Max Verstappen.
Yeah, it's a valid point. I think it's unfair, but I think it's a valid point when you consider where he was to where he is.
Yeah.
Which is why I've picked Hamilton from where he was to where he is. So I think it's a valid point. What's your reasoning for it?
Well, as you said, Mikey boy, I feel like his 2025 second part of the season was so good. Everyone was expecting he can carry this into 2026, even with the not so good car. But he's just at the start of the season, he was so far off the pace compared to the top runners. And I know the car doesn't help, but what people expected of him is not the level he's performing at the minute.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair point. JP, obviously being a massive Max fan, you've been nodding.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
smiling, which maybe
I don't think I can really argue it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased and say, oh yeah, but what about the car? But what about, you know, the incidents that have made him crash? But in the races that he has finished and in the races where he has been, let's say, more competitive, I think my only argument would be if you look at races like Canada and you look in comparison to Hadjar, where Max is dragging it to a podium and Hadjar is, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. But then again, I can go back to what I said about Albon. The peaks have been very high and he's shown that he really is the fastest in Formula One. But then the lows have been so low, it's just kind of all round a bit stagnant.
yeah. Who was your other driver, Solar?
I was thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure. You guys all had good options as well, but I was thinking, compared to his teammate, Oscar Piastri just hasn't seemed as quick as he was last season as well.
Yeah. Again, it's another valid point. Oscar had the strongest start, didn't he, in 25?
Yeah, I mean, he led the championship.
Maybe like the end of
the halfway
the
point.
first stint, he was a lot better. But I think again, it's a valid point, and you do that. You have to look at where they was to where they are, because if they're up there next season, you're thinking they're going to be up there again, and if they're not, then they're disappointing you. So I think I think any choice is a valid choice.
Yeah.
Because there has been some surprises. So then, if we look forward to what about in the chat? So we've got Alpine F1 Moopsy saying JP internally screaming at the fact Max was picked. Kian's got a question which we'll go to. Aviation's asked us to talk about drivers in MOR and who we think will win the 8 PM championship based off what we saw. Alpine F1 Moopsy saying Hulkenberg had the funny kill switch, otherwise he would have been ahead of Bortoletto, which is an interesting thing. However, that's one race.
Yeah.
So it's a valid point, but it's one race, and you know, Hulkenberg got a podium in Silverstone, luckily last season, which would have brought him from, I think, would have took him up 10 places in this year's championship at the moment. So you can look at one race, but over the course of the season, I just don't think it's been good enough. Max is Dutch and the team is Austrian. Yeah.
That is a factual statement.
There we go. Drew, 1977. Do you guys think Kimi could crumble like Oscar last year?
No, I don't see it. I think it sounds weird, but Kimmy's got the advantage of being a kid. You don't really
Yeah.
have confidence knocks like that. You know, let's say Hamilton last year, for example, jumps into a Ferrari. Halfway through the year, he's saying that he's the problem and he's putting all the blame on himself. Antonelli, he's got the advantage of being a bit, let's say, naive. He's not
Oh,
going to
yeah, I was
put
gonna
that
say naive,
blame
yeah.
on himself. He's just going to go, you know, let's say he has a race like Baku, which is where it really turned round for Oscar. Antonelli would have a race like that where he's in the wall in qualifying, in the wall in the race. He'd scream and shout about it on the radio, and then next week he would want to prove that he's better than that and would go and win the race by 30 seconds.
Yeah. I think again that's all valid. I think my only criticism of Antonelli is that he treats it like open lobbies. His track limits are horrendous.
Yeah,
I've
he's
never seen it in real life before. Like you see it on the game all the time,
Sounds like me.
but my God, Antonelli's just getting track limits for everything, and he's like, "I didn't cross the line," and they're like, "Well, you clearly did."
yeah, I
But
mean,
I think it only spurs him on a bit more. I just want to point out as well, MUFC Harvey's just pointed out. I did just look at my phone. Massive shout out to Dan T in the TikTok and whoever else has liked it because we just hit 30,000 likes, which is pretty cool.
wicked.
Which is a great number to say that we are suspended on TikTok. So very well done. Thank you, Sander, for the gifted sub as well. Blake, what about you? What was the question?
Do we think Antonelli could crumble like Oscar last season?
Yeah, what do you think, Blake? Blake's
Great
asleep.
answer.
Solo, what about you?
I'd say it's definitely a possibility for anyone. And that includes Antonelli. Yes, he's young, but that also means he can be prone to mistakes that other more experienced drivers might not make.
Yeah, I just think he has got the mentality of a champion.
Yeah.
I think now he's got the taste for it. I think he's just going to blow up. And Drew's just put another comment in. My only argument to that would be if I asked you guys the same question about Oscar at this point last year, you would have said the same thing. My response to that would be I wouldn't because I always back Lando to beat him and I always back Max to come back. I don't know what about you guys, but yeah, is Blake there yet?
Doesn't
No, he must be
sound
off to
like it.
the little boys' room. Oh, he's back. Blake?
I am here. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, we
but-
can
Oh,
hear
calm
you
down now.
now.
Hello.
He's back.
Yeah, I was here the whole time. I didn't literally touch anything. But yeah, for that question, I think it's just a mentality difference between the two drivers. I think Oscar is one of those drivers. I think Hungary was quite a good example of it. Is sort of obviously his race ended because of things sort of out of his control. But when things didn't start to go his way, you could see a panic about him and a kind of it's not necessarily fear, but he feels the pressure a lot more than Antonelli does. And I think Oscar and Lando are similar talent levels, but I think it's Lando's got more of like a nonchalant approach to it, and just it was almost like, oh, I'll do my best and see what happens. Whereas Oscar kind of at times seems like he's got the whole weight of the world on his shoulders, and I don't think that's something Antonelli is going to be like. I think he's got kind of this. He's just got this, for lack of a better phrase, this aura about him, which just screams not overconfidence, but he thinks he's the best. It seemed like Oscar was like, oh well, I could be the best, but we'll just have to see what happens. But Antonelli kind of has this swagger about him, where it just seems like he won't crack under pressure. But as Drew said, I think we can easily be proved wrong by this because I do somewhat kind of understand what he means in this sense. But we wouldn't say this last season because of how good Oscar was in the first half. But I think time will tell. But I wouldn't have thought so. I think Antonelli is probably a lot further ahead than Oscar was. I don't know the exact numbers, but I imagine he probably is further ahead than Oscar was at this time last year. But I just think I think he's a better driver now, and I think he'll be a way better driver in the future than what Oscar Piastri is now.
I think the big thing for me with Antonelli is that I've always said it. I think the greatest drivers have the ability to have this real FU mentality. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care what anyone says. I'm the best. Max had it, Hamilton had it, Senna had it, Schumacher had it. I think Antonelli's got that. And I really do think that Antonelli could be one of the greats of Formula One. If you look in 10 years' time, especially if Mercedes keep on the trajectory they're currently on, he's got that mentality where everything else just switches off. He can have critics talking about him, he can have drivers talking about him, and he just goes, nope, screw all that. I'm better than you. I'm beating you by 30 seconds.
Yeah. MCL's agreeing with you in the chat there.
Yeah, I just think that the FU mentality is something that only the greats have had. You know, it's like I say, Verstappen, you hear it all the time. He doesn't like the media side, he doesn't like the fame. He wants to race and he wants to win. Hamilton, back in his heyday, I don't really think he's got it anymore, but back when he was hungry to win championships, he had that in him. Senna, again, another one that wasn't there for the fame, wasn't there for the glory. Same with Schumacher as well. Didn't want everything that came with Formula One, just wanted Formula One.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For the love of the sport more than anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. Have we got Solar? Solar answered that. Yeah. Have we got any more questions in the chat before we go on to another point? I think we'll probably do what we're on an hour and 46. Do another 15 minutes. And then I think people will probably start logging off and going to bed. So we'll call it at midnight. That's a 2-hour start to the podcast. I'm hoping everyone's enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've honestly found this really fun. I mean, I'm the sort of person I really like talking about things I enjoy. So this has been really,
Yeah.
really good fun.
Should we have a little look at the 8 p.m. lineups for tomorrow? Was the only thing I was going to suggest. We could have a little run through of them and what people could expect to see tomorrow night.
That's
Yeah,
a good
sounds
thing.
good.
We
I
were
know what the lineups are.
bigging them up. I'll quickly pull them up. MOR Discord, where are we?
Alpine
no
F1
idea.
Moopsy, while you're talking, while you're doing that, Alpine, you've asked me what the biggest surprise in the 6 p.m. and the 8 p.m. race was. The 6 p.m. race for me, the biggest surprise in that was because I hadn't seen it much, was Llama's pace. I've not really seen them race, and they did a very good job, and they went and won the race. So that was the big surprise in the 6 p.m. The 8 p.m. race was MCL for me. He's had a lot of time off of it. I know he's only a reserve. He might want the full-time seat that's available. I don't know. I'll have to see if he wants it. He's in the chat, so maybe he will. But for me, MCL was a standout driver for tonight's 8 p.m. race. I think he did a massive job with keeping up with the drivers at the front, staying with them for the whole race and fighting till the end was just very, very good. But anyway, on to the Tuesday 8 p.m. lineup, and I'm gonna be in the bottom half.
Yeah, we've got the lineups on screen for you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we spoke about this towards the start of the podcast, how good this division is. It's the crown jewel, it's the baby of MOR. I mean, you can see the names for yourselves, but some of them really do pop out. Of course, you've got the man himself, F1 Mikey Boy, that we know won't be running any races this season. But we've got the likes of, Danny F31, we've got Meloon, we've got Noah, Tesco in there, Nova Piper, who's been very quick on this game. Daryl makes his return to racing. MCL, who we know is very quick too. This is almost like, I want to say, like a heart transplant. This is the heart of WRC, and it's come over to MOR.
Yeah, there's a lot of OG drivers in there. You've got Nova, you've got me, Sidemen, Blake, Matt Connor, MCL, Andy, Maloon. They were in the very, very, very first race of WRC. So it's almost the OG. Yeah, it's the heart of the server. No one says has a favorite child. Everyone says don't have a favorite child, but this is my favorite lineup. But they're all proven drivers. We've got a lot of talent in there. G. Russell hasn't raced in it before, so he'll be interesting one to see. Danny F1's our first and only back-to-back world champion in league racing here, so he's another one to watch out for. I think he misses the first 2 races though, so it could be quite difficult for him. Every person in that lobby, for me, can win a race this season. And
I
that's
think
a
you're forgetting
massive
Blake's in
statement.
a V carb.
Huh?
Blake's in a V carb. I don't think every driver can win.
Blake won a race on the last race of the
No,
Thursday
no,
division.
no. That was rigged. Have we not told everyone about that? We made him win. We had to increase his stock.
Yeah, you gave him a McLaren and I was in an Aston. Would you
That's
expect?
been my full-time seat. I'm not letting this narrative fly. I've been in that seat this whole season. I've just logged in recently, and now I'm getting flipping demoted
Yeah,
to an
yeah,
Alpine.
yeah.
So if you have to pick a constructor to win the Tuesday division, guys, who are you picking?
Red Bull.
Aston Martin.
So you're saying Aston Martin?
Yeah, I think both very solid and quick drivers that can keep the consistency up for the whole season.
Yeah. What about you, Blake?
Um, for me, I didn't realize that Danny was going to miss 2 of the races, but on merit, as if this was the whole season, everyone was doing every race. I think Danny and Andy is a
Yeah.
pretty dangerous partnership. I think, no offense, well, I can say it 'cause it includes myself. Danny has been with for his last 2 constructors championships, which went along with his drivers. His teammates were myself and Ollie, and with all due respect to Ollie, as much as he is a complete tart, we are not the same level that Andy is. I think if Danny can win a championship with me and Ollie on his team, he can definitely win a championship with Andy. And I don't think the lineup around him and in the other cars has changed enough for anyone else to be able to challenge that. If I was looking at second place, I think it's Aston or Red Bull again. I think obviously Mikey, you're claiming that you'll be in the back of the the back part of the field. But even in like today, where you qualified, I think it was further down the field than you probably wanted to be. You were in like 5th by the end of lap 1. So it's
Yeah.
all about the racing in the end. I think you and Sidemen together can put up a pretty decent fight. I think Sidemen's consistent when he doesn't lose his head. And the Aston's got 2 world champions from this season in it. So there's a lot to play for. But as I said, yeah, I'd go for the Haas if my money was on it. It does in part. We'll have to see who replaces Danny for those first 2 races. Because if it's someone equally, well, I don't know if anyone's equally competent as him in that reserves list.
I'll
There's
reserve.
definitely people. Well, okay, well, we won't put you in the Haas then. But
God damn it.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it definitely depends on who replaces him for the first 2, and if Andy can keep his good Wi-Fi connection going in his new house. So we'll see. We'll see what it brings. But JP, I can't remember who you said. So what was your opinion?
I said Red Bull immediately, to be honest, just sort of glancing through the lineups. I think no glaze to Mikey, but I mean, he's one of the quickest drivers in the league, is very consistent as well. That's the thing about Mikey, is that it's not just he has the peaks being able to win races. He's consistently top 5, and that is the lead driver that you want. And then Sidemen, also, like you say, Blake, very consistent when he doesn't lose his head. But kind of
Which is quite a
scanning
lot, to be fair.
further into it, I think V-Carb are going to be very underrated. MCL and you, Blake. MCL, as we saw tonight, is very, very quick, is very, very consistent, is very, very clean, doesn't often get into incidents as MCL. So I think he's going to be consistent. And Blake, you've had a real turn of form recently. And if your current projection keeps going up, you're going to be at the level that you need to be at the end of the season. If I had to put money on it, I'd honestly go V-Carb.
I would agree.
I'll take that.
I agree. I'm going with V-Carb for the drivers and the constructors.
Drivers? What, you think Blake's winning the world title?
I don't
No.
think that's what he meant.
No disrespect to you, Blake, but I think you're right. No, I'm going for MCL because when he zones in and when he concentrates on something, he puts in the time and effort, and we saw that tonight. If he had just jumped in that car tonight, without playing the game, he would have probably been in that pack in the middle fighting and maybe spun once or twice. But looking at his performance tonight, and I know for a fact he's already put some practice in for Tuesday, which is tomorrow. I think we're going to see a statement from that RB, and I think Blake has improved and he's getting quicker and he's consistently finishing in the top 10, which in theory, if you had a driver win every race and finish last every race, you'd still win the constructors. So I think personally, I think the RB have got both in the bag this season. I think Red Bull, Haas, Ferrari, providing they both keep the Reds because they're quite a lively team. I think Red Bull, Ferrari, and Haas. To be fair, even bloody Audi and Alpine. We're missing Cadillac. Where's Cadillac? You've got the wrong graphics up.
Have I? This is
Oh,
the
yeah,
one that's been
there's
posted
no
in the
Cadillac.
8 p.m. division.
Yeah, there's another one that gives you more of it.
Oh, good God, what am I doing? Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Is it this one? No, it's not this one.
No, it's the second
Oh,
one.
it's the
This
one.
one.
Yes. Oh,
No.
it's Saban and
There
Tom
we go,
B.
Saban and
That is
Tom B.
dangerous.
That is
Yeah.
that is
Ooh. Okay.
dangerous.
So there's also a potential for Cadillac to batter the fuck out of everyone, but they've not shown up. I'm backing RB for the double. I think Mike's going to win the drivers. I'm going to try my hardest because I've still not won Tuesday and I've missed out now on every season. I'm going to put some proper practice in for this one and treat it properly because this is the first time we've got a full grid that's stacked and it's going to be. I don't see anyone getting left behind in that grid.
No, I mean, there is a question that I'm going to ask, and quite selfishly, I want to answer it first. But who do you think is the driver that's going to perform a lot better than you think? Because I look at that grid, I think Daryl is going to be very overlooked on this grid. When Daryl isn't losing his head and isn't in the barriers, and he fully commits to it, he is absolutely rapid. And I think people have forgotten how quick Daryl can be and how, he's. I don't want to compare him to Max Verstappen, but the aggressive driving where it's kind of either I'm past you or we're having some sort of incident, it scares people. And with this being an OG grid who have raced Daryl in his prime, they're going to know that. And people maybe like Meloon, Noah, Humbled, Romeo, Zumi, who are maybe not going to be people that you would say are fighting for the world championship. If they see Daryl behind them, they're diving out the way, and I think Daryl could be very dangerous.
I think Sidemen.
Ooh.
Me and Sidemen won the Tuesday Constructors Championship the first season. And Sidemen takes things seriously when he's got a serious teammate. And I think Sidemen, I don't know if anyone in the chat agrees, but I think Sidemen will turn up this season. He won't put in the practice. He's not interested in any of that. But I think when he races, he'll do the right thing for the team and he'll try his hardest and he'll stick the races out. So I think Sidemen will be a surprise.
Blake, who do you think?
I think, again, looking at this grid, I think you have to kind of look one of two ways. So, the first of which I'd go Andy. I think Andy obviously took his, I think probably like a month and a half off when he was moving across his country. But the fact that I think it's a testament to his pace in the sense that he's been gone for a month and a half. He's come back. His first race, he beat me and a few other relatively competent drivers in his first race back. No practice. He had a China set up on in Saudi Arabia. And I think the more comfortable he gets, the more assists he's now getting off. I think he's only going to build on that. And I think the other driver who I think's he's very under the radar. I think it's maybe because he's joined a little bit later, but I think MUFC Joe in the Mercedes is quite a. He's not unpredictable, but he's consistently quick. But he does find himself caught up in incidents now and again. But I think every time I've seen him race, I think he's at a similar place to where Maloon kind of is, if he gets his head down. In Thursday division, he was in a Williams in one of the races and won pretty soundly. And Maloon was in that and won pretty soundly a lot of the time as well. So I think those two, I think, will be with each other quite a lot in this season. If Joe can keep his run of form going. Other than that, I think this will be Nova's best season yet. I think he's at a point now where his head's in the game. and he's now got the skills to reflect what he wants to do. But yeah, I think we've kind of maximized who is on this grid to make it the quickest and cleanest possible. We've taken Ollie Southall out the back and shot him. He's gone. And we've got Humbled in instead, for example, who.
You're only saying
Or-
that, Blake, 'cause you know he's going to be tucked up in bed snoring his little head off.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I think, as I said, with all due respect to the people, I think maybe 2 people missed out on this season. It's considerably harder to get a top 10 this season. I think it's a real kind of, it's mind numbing, the fact that I think I can quite easily be qualifying 18th on pure pace in this grid, and then in some social races I can get a random pole, or I'll be top 7 or 8 most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one. But as I said, yeah, I think Andy is definitely going to be top 7 in the championship if he gets around to every race. And I think that if he can do that, then Haas have a guaranteed championship coming their way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good season, and we haven't got long to wait now. So I think there's a lot of questions in the chat asking for oversights on other divisions, but I think we've just hit 2 hours. I think that's a good start to our podcast story. I mean, I'm free up until I'm free tomorrow, and then I'm not free again till Sunday. So depending on you guys, JP, if you wanted to run another one tomorrow to review the rest of the week, we can.
Most certainly.
And then it won't be until the weekend. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. I think it's probably a good time to end there.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, from the looks of the chat, everyone's enjoyed it. I think we've all enjoyed it as well. It's been good fun to just sit down and chat for a few hours and discuss real F1, MOR, whatever there is in between. And it will only get better as the podcasts go on. I think, tonight was a big sort of just jumping in the deep end. As I said at the start of the stream, we organized this an hour and a half before we actually went live. And I mean, we've just jumped right in and it's been really enjoyable. We come out with a more structured format and, know what we're doing a bit more, let's say. I really think this is a good bit of fun.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential, and hopefully everyone in the chat, it looks like they have, but hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. Thank you, Solar and Blake, for hopping on and getting involved. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for sitting and listening to us blab on for over 2 hours. Thank you to you guys still in the TikTok, 35,000 views. We are suspended on TikTok, so we didn't really look at it too much. So sorry to Mastery Racing League, which I think is not Brownie. We will. Should we do it again tomorrow?
Yeah,
And
most
then-
certainly.
And then Sunday, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Get some questions ready, guys, because we'll do another, however long it goes on for.
Yeah.
And then we can hopefully get some more interviews in, some more subscriptions in the Twitch, maybe a few more giveaways. You never know.
Oh,
I've still got the F1 gloves. I might frame them first.
yeah, of course.
Um,
Poke a few holes in them so you can still smell the sweat.
yeah. Yeah, sure.
I think we need to end the stream after that one. But I think that
Yeah.
demonstrates it
Yeah,
pretty well.
screw giving them
Yeah,
away. Just send
I'll
them to
tell
me,
you what.
Mikey.
I have another giveaway.
What,
And
for
I'm gonna
now?
reveal it now. I'm gonna no, I'm not gonna do it now.
Okay.
I'm gonna reveal it now to get everyone excited. But it's a big
Oh,
one.
okay, a
It's a big
big one.
But
What is Mikey pulling out here? I hope it's not a certain thing.
I'm quite concerned what I'm about to witness on my screen. to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm
same here.
I'm very scared for what Mikey's going to pull out here, but no, Mikey, it is going to be
God.
something special. He
It's a
said
big
it's
one.
big.
Yeah,
a
you
big
can't be
one,
referring to
but
what
I
we think it is. Then.
haven't decided on the requirements to be able to win it. But tomorrow's giveaway, are we ready?
Go on.
Is that dog?
Yeah, there is a
Give it
dog in
away,
my
dog.
background. Yes.
He's giving away a dog.
Tomorrow's giveaway is going to be a big one.
Oh,
That is pretty good, to be fair.
That
That's a
looks
big one.
nice. To be fair.
that
Right.
is sick.
So this is tomorrow's giveaway. How we determine who gets to enter, we don't know.
Gifted
I feel like us
subs.
four are just going to be in automatically.
Huh?
I said I feel like us four are just going to be in automatically.
Yeah, maybe. There's always a way to.
I reckon
too
gifted
expensive.
subs. It's got to be gift the sub and you get entered into the giveaway. We run it all stream long, and then at the end you pick the giveaway winner.
Yeah, I mean that's £80 worth of Lego. So spending 20 quid, not a bad idea. But we'll release a little poster. We'll try and get some more people active in the TikTok as well, and we'll run the giveaway tomorrow. But we'll jump back on at 10 o'clock, same time.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah. But yes, thank you very much, everybody. I reckon we should end the stream with a nice little MOR song.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
the song is
So
coming
we'll
up.
listen to the song, and then this is the giveaway, and then we'll reconvene tomorrow.
Indeed. Is there anything, Blake or Solar, do you want to say anything before we go off the air and listen to Mikey's greatest creation?
just a big thank you to anyone who chimed in the chat. Thank you for all the questions. Hopefully do the same tomorrow night. Obviously it was our first go tonight, so it was probably a bit of waffling, bit of chatting rubbish, but I think we tried to make it as productive as possible and entertaining. So hopefully we see everyone in here tomorrow and some more people that we had that are in the server and weren't here tonight. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. As I say, it was a big dive into the deep end, but I think it's worked out well. Again, a big thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night for Mikey's big giveaway, the Leclerc helmet Lego figure. Definitely a very cool one. I'm definitely going to be in that giveaway myself, I must say. And yeah, enjoy the song. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Until we see you, take care and ta-da.